the Word in Review team, and I'm just going to be breaking down a couple of the key points that I took away from Sunday's message. And the sermon followed a series that we have been following for the last few weeks, Change Your Frame. And the subtitle was The Excellent Glory, with the scripture being taken from 2 Peter 1, verse 16 to 21. And I'm just going to dive straight into the first thing that I think really pulled me in and really made me think. I think it was one of those sermons that really just made you think. There are a lot of points that Pastor made that were poignant and just put thoughts into your mind. And the first point that I really got and pulled from the service was, do you understand the true nature of who Jesus really is? And I think that's one of those questions that, you know, it's easy to hear and kind of not think too deeply into it, but when you think about it, I think it is such a deep question, and I think there's so much to unpack from just that question alone. And one of the things that he said straight after that I think really made me realize how much there is to unpack from that question is the fact that he mentioned the demons know even more than we know how awesome and glorious Jesus really is. And I think when you take a step back and think about how awesome and glorious we know and believe Jesus to be, just as humans, not even seeing even 1% of the things that he does, not just for us, but just does in general. I think to know that he is even more and so much more than that, I think is crazy, encouraging, scary, not scary, but scary, encouraging, and just a really beautiful thought. The fact that we know how amazing Jesus is, and we don't even know how amazing Jesus is. The demons know how amazing Jesus is, and even they see so much more than we do, and they know so much more than we do, and it still doesn't touch the surface, scrape the surface of how awesome and amazing Jesus truly is. And I think that point for me was amazing. And he went on to talk about the actual idea of changing your frame, and what I think was really a relevant point that he made that linked back to the actual title of the service was the point at which he said that you have to make a decision. At some point, there comes a point in time in life where you have to make a decision about what do you really believe. And I feel like we hear these kind of things all the time. You hear them in people speaking and being encouraging. But when you really think about it, there really does come a point in everyone's life, points, in fact, in everyone's life where you have to decide, what do I really believe? What do I really stand for? And the point at which you do have to make that decision is the point at which you have to change your frame. Sometimes we're being, I feel like, really overwhelmed with life. I feel that sometimes, overwhelmed, and so many things are happening, and the lens at which you look at your situation, the lens at which you look at who has the power of your situation, I think is what needs to change. You have to change your frame, change how you're viewing your circumstance, change how you're viewing your situation. And as Pastor said, remind ye me. You can remind God of his promises, not because God has forgotten what he promised, but because you've forgotten what he promised. And you have to change your frame to remember who's in control, who you put your faith in, who you put your trust in. And I would say those are the main things I took away. It was a really powerful service, one of those ones that I think made you think. And I think that's great, something to take, so many things to take away into the week. But those were the two main things that I think really stood out to me and things that I will carry with me throughout this week. So I hope everyone has a blessed week. See ya.